Okay, so instead of working on my altered stuff and all the other things I have to do, and because I'm kicking down the road getting caught up in my Fauxbonichi for in lieu of cleaning. Does anybody else do that? Where you'll do anything else but what you know you gotta get done? Anyways, I thought I would do a quick flip. Well, I doubt it'll be quick. A flip of June and July in my Fauxbonichi. And, yeah, I put all my pictures on Instagram and on the Fauxbonichi Journalers Facebook group. Both links are down below. If you want to see like stills, close-ups, that kind of stuff. More information about what was used on a page, you're going to want to check on Instagram. Yeah, so let's get into it. I use the Michaels Artist Loft journals. They're considered a hard cover, but they bend. So, which I love. These are I think this is my third year of using these, and I already have next year's purchased because I love them. If they quit selling them, there will be tears involved. Although I have thought about using like a traveler's notebook next year and doing like one per month, just as something different, but I haven't decided yet, and I don't know. I haven't decided yet on that. I have a feeling it's going to be too small, but maybe I'll play with one and see what happens. But anyways, right now this is 8x6. Pages are like 7 3/4 by 5.5, and I love it. It's my favorite journal. I've used it for years, and it's cheap. $5. $5. I've watercolored in it. You do have to treat your pages before you use really wet mediums, but it holds up to everything. I can get 4 months in a journal, and I don't know. Questions, drop them below and I'll get back to you on it. But so this is how I started out this is the second journal for this year. I already have one filled, and I started on June in this journal instead of May because I have all the May photos printed out. I have all my notes taken, but May was a crazy, and it didn't happen. And you know what? Some years, that's just the way it goes, and I'm just going to not freak out over it. I am going to leave the last part of this book blank so that I can, if nothing else, stick the photos and all my notes in the back, and then they're at least there. But yeah, I did start this in June instead of May. This is Simple Stories paper that I altered to do it. I always do a starting journal, start, hello, welcome, whatever they call it, page. And yeah, and then here's the start for June. I am obsessed with the Simple Stories 6x8 pads. They are perfect for this journal, and they just... I'm a Simple Stories junkie anyways. It's my favorite brand, easily my favorite brand overall. I do have other brands that I like, but Simple Stories is my absolute, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. And it always ends up in my cart. So that's, yeah. So this is June, what I did with June. And these are all stickers. I think these are Tim Holtz stickers, something like that. I don't know if anybody cares about like that kind of stuff. Most of the stuff I use is from my stash. 90% of it's old. So even if I tell you or can figure out where I got it, you probably can't get it anymore. So June 1st has us getting... I completely redid the front garden in front of our house, and I've been wanting to do it forever. And you know, every once in a while you kick something down the road for years, and then that moment happens and you go, yes, today. And so I put in a rock path, and I mulched and did a whole bunch of stuff, and I got it all cleaned up, and so that's pretty much what that did. And yeah, Joshua went on a bike ride. I think this is one of his first bike rides. That could be a lie. I haven't looked back that far. But I have, these are Dollar Tree stickers, and they just kind of, they're nice. I've had them for a while. They don't stick very well anymore, so I just glue them down. But yeah, and then food, lots of food. All of my food shots, any photo in here that you see that has food in it that you'd like to know more about is on my Living Whole Food Plant-Based Facebook page. It includes recipes and all of that kind of stuff. So if there's anything you ever want to, you know, try yourself, all the recipes are on that Facebook page. And again, that link is also down below. It's all free. I don't charge for anything. Somebody asked me that the other day. Do I charge? I don't charge for anything. Anything. I don't make a buck off of people. It's just not my thing. I share. We are planting seeds. It's a constant thing in this house. If it's not planting to go outside, it's planting for inside gardening. If it's not planting for inside gardening or outside gardening, it's microgreens. So we pretty much got everything planted, and inside and out. We planted like 400 and some odd plants. We estimate we saved by planting our own around $1,000 instead of buying plants. But you have to wash all the dishes, so we washed all the pots that we had everything growing in. And yeah, he's really good at this stuff. One day he'll figure out what he wants to be when he grows up, and I'm hoping it has to do with food and gardening. But just my yellow rose always blooms in June, and it's really old, really old, and so it still has fragrance, which is really nice. And this is one of the new irises I bought last year, and it bloomed. My other two didn't, but next year they were kind of little. More pot washing. That should have been the end of it. Yeah, pretty much the end of it. And Josh sent me pictures on one of his bike ride about how we were having floods, lots and lots of flooding, which is a normal thing. So I did some stenciling on the background here because I got my artsy on. 90% of any page you see with stenciling, watercolor, painting, any of that kind of stuff, I always treat the pages with Krylon matte finish spray first. Let it dry, takes about 15 minutes, smells horrible, spray it outside or in your garage like I do. But the stuff's awesome, and no, you cannot use the low odor. It does not work the same. And you don't have to do it if you don't mind it bleeding through. But the reason I treat my pages is not so much because I care about bleed through from my inks through the page. It's because when I wet the page with the stencils and the inks and the water and stuff, I don't want the ink on the previous page to run, because
445.
It's 445 because I use my favorite journaling pen is an Inkjoy, and they are not waterproof. So that's the main reason I do it, because I really don't care if it bleeds through or whatever. I haven't really had a whole lot of trouble with that, depending on what it is, but it will move your ink on the next page, the page before. So that's why the main reason I treat all of my pages. But we had a baby bunny on our back porch. Oh, it was so cute. Stayed for quite a while. I took Benny and Sophie for a walk. I do not allow my cats to run the neighborhood and drive my neighbors nuts. I wish my neighbors were as respectful. They are not, but my cats are not allowed to run loose. I love them too much to do that. So they walk around the yard on harnesses and stuff. So, and they don't care. They're fine. So we took a walk. Sophie, she doesn't like to do a whole lot of wandering, but Benny, he'll walk out into traffic. He don't care. Fear. But yeah, this is done with distress inks in the back here. Yeah, more distress inks and some Hobby Lobby probably stickers. Something like that. I finally broke down and bought myself a new pair of tennis shoes. I don't know why buying clothes and shoes and stuff I put off until my soles fall off, but that's what that happens. And then we started Mary's Mini for the following week. That's a lot of fun. It always is. it's always a success, and they're really easy, and you eat a lot of good food and lose a whole bunch of weight and reset stuff. So it's really nice. And then I bought this, I don't know how to pronounce this word, Diatomaticus earth, and basically it's ground up fossils, and I use it to control bugs inside the house, and so everything gets dusted and you have to wear a mask and stuff. This was pretty much before you had to wear a mask everywhere, till people lost their mind and became, well, sheeples. But anyways, here's some more garden stuff. My dragon cucumbers decided to make it, so they came up, and I have peppers growing in the house. This is in the house, the peppers are. And I don't know what. Oh, jury duty. I got called for jury duty. Not jury duty. I got signed up for, you get your name put on a list. I'm surprised after the last time they want me to come back. But logged into my 401k, and we are 402% to goal of our 401k. Even with the market doing the swings, we invest heavily in our 401k. We didn't when we first got it, but now we invest. We've spent the last 10 years investing really, really hardcore into our 401k, and so if it makes it to our projected $2 million goal, I will laugh. But anyways, yeah, because we have plans for that besides just retirement. And so, yeah, there's no quicker way to get your money to pay you back than to do investing. But if you don't want to if you have a 401k, you should be investing in 401k. First of all, most employers match. Second of all, it's probably one of your more safer ways to invest, especially if you don't want to learn to be a stock guru, which I do not. And so, yeah. And I have no interest in learning the stock market, so I play with what somebody else has already set up. But I did some weeding in the back, and then more food. I don't know if it shows up on the camera. It probably doesn't, but like I said, all these are taken from my Facebook page. I'm tried to grow tomatoes indoors. I did. It worked. They're a lot of work, and so at least these that I picked, which was the wrong ones, and so I will be trying this fall new tomatoes to try. But anyways, we set up an indoor grow station for the tomatoes, and they are producing little tomatoes. And this, like I said, this is June. We've already eaten all these, and I've already gotten rid of these plants by now. So Josh is mowing the lawn, and more food shots. And these are all Happy Planner stickers. These are Dollar Tree stickers. Like I said, if you have questions about anything, just leave them down below. Just wander in the yard. That's the theme. If you have not figured out my life during at least the summertime, is gardening and food. And then food and gardening. And then if we're not talking about gardening, we're talking about food. If that bores you, wow. Good luck. But yeah, so we got all the gardens planted and things are coming up and stuff like that. I tried to do, I bought that E6000, and if you watched my altered book thing, I was using it in there. This is what I did it with. Woo! I just sprayed it on the background of this, and then I kind of dabbled it around the edges. And you don't let it dry before you put the deco foil on. You put the deco foil on and then let it dry and then peel it off. But it worked pretty good, depending, it worked. It was fun. I liked it. But yeah. And then I had these cages for my squash to keep the deer out of them, and we put them away because the squash are big now. And so I stuck the cats out in them, and they were thrilled. They were like, look, I'm free! Not really, but they thought they were. Again, more food shots. My peonies were blooming. My roses were blooming. I got my very first radish ever. our decontamination zone out in the garage. I don't really worry so much about COVID anymore. I think at this point we we got to change our thinking on that, and I'll try not to bitch too bad about it. But one of the things we did learn with the ridiculousness was that when you bring your food home, you should clean everything, because wow, is the packaging dirty and everything is dirty. I mean, we wash all our vegetables and that kind of stuff, but I didn't realize how dirty the packaging and stuff was. So now we clean all that. Not for COVID, just because it's gross. This is my bitch about COVID back in June. It's a rant. I won't read it to you. Simple stories again. More simple stories. Most of it's going to be simple stories. Happy planner, that kind of stuff. But again, look, more food, more gardening. I don't live outside my property line very much, and so you probably won't see a ton of this happened in town, because I don't go to town. I'm an introvert, like nobody's business introvert, and so I don't go to town. I used to not go to town because I was fat, sick, and my anxiety levels were holy shit, and so I couldn't leave the house. Now I don't go because I don't people well. So I have learned that if I don't want to have a stressful day, I don't go to town. And in general, I have no reason to go to town other than groceries. And my husband does a lot of that because he's a more people person, tolerant person. But look at my pak choi. Isn't it look gorgeous? Love pak choi. For our first year growing full-size pak choi. And mini plan and stuff like that. And then here's how our Mary's Mini turned out. I think we ended up losing like 20 pounds between the two of us. Joshua doesn't lose weight. He is a maintainer because he's skinny and doesn't need to lose weight. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, we're gonna sprout some wheat berries. Have you sprouted wheat berries? They are really, really good. They are really, really sweet and really, really easy. And if you have one of these little sprouter containers, that makes it just cake. So that was, and then I picked lunch out in the garden, so that was fun. And our green onions were blooming, and we got bees everywhere. I don't know what this paper is. I think it's Prima. I just cut a page, a 6x6 apart. More stenciling, more gardening, more food. My lemongrass in the house. It's crazy. It's about 3 times this big, but I have to have it up and behind a cage and stuff because the cats will get into it and yank it all down, so they're bad. So they love it, but God, it smells good. And I put it in all kinds of food, salads, curries, any Thai food, any Asian food, I put it in. And it's really easy to grow. I grew that from seed. I was kind of proud of myself. Marigolds are blooming. I transplanted my little boxwood basils. Those are the best thing ever. If you can find a boxwood basil, I highly recommend them. It's the flavor of a full-size basil like you get in the grocery store, but it's in little tiny leaves. Love it. Coleolaces are growing. More food. Shots of the bees out in the green onions. And I'm trying to reach 100,000 steps. I still don't get there. I'm a goer, but I still am a lazy person. So, yeah. Anyways, I picked some pak choi to make wraps out of, spring rolls with peanut sauce wraps, and so that's what that is. My roses are blooming. Larkspur, I think, is what this is. I didn't plant it. It showed up, and I'm okay with it. So that was kind of cool. More simple stories. I don't know why I bought these frames. I never used them, but I got sucked into that whole collection and had to have it all. Yeah. But I just ripped the fronts off and used the fronts so they're not thick in my journal. And as you can tell, it was a food day because that's my life. And I'm okay with it. Makes me happy. Makes people happy. Food and gardening. You don't meet cranky people on either one of them unless they're eating bad for them food. Yeah. Grow your own food. you just gotta put something in a pot and stick it on the window. You just gotta. But yeah, we got okra going, boxwood basil, cucumbers, lettuce, microgreens, my bad boy, and he now has a friend. 2 months later, he's got a buddy. Their racks are huge, 5 and 6 points. I'm surprised somebody hasn't wiped them out, even though we're in town, but men are strange when it comes to needing to be manly. And my green onions, I got to pick garlic scapes for the first time this year. I'd never done that before, so that was cool. And then my eggplants grew huge in the house, but they never did pollinate, no matter what we did to them. I stuck them outside, and now we get lots of eggplants. But the plants did make it, and they did bloom in the house. I just could never get them to produce an actual eggplant. Dale went to a car show, and I've been listening to Alan Walker on YouTube, his music, and oh, it's so good. And a lot of his videos tell a story. And so if you're into, well, Alan Walker, just look it up on YouTube, and it's just so good. This is pretty much how I spend my evenings, reading a book, holding Benny, because Benny thinks at nighttime it's like, time to go to bed, Mom. And he like holds on to you and hugs you. He's hilarious, but he's so heavy you can't breathe. He's just huge. Mini plan, that kind of stuff. I think these are also simple stories. More distress ink, more paint, more stamping, that kind of stuff. And the guy, oh, this was Father's Day, so we got Dale some cards and stuff. And Benny has a paper fetish, so between toilet paper and paper towels, if you leave it where he can reach it, yeah, that happens. Yeah, and then of course more food. So I need to, oh no, that's what the pocket is. But more gardening. We picked a whole bunch of greens to process. It all went in the freezer. My lettuce is growing really good this year. I've never grown whole head lettuce before. So this year we're doing it. We're also growing this in the house right now, and it's doing really well. But there's pockets with journaling in the pockets here. And again, all of these are close-up shots in the Fauxbonichi Journalers group or on Instagram if you want to see anything closer. I think this is simple stories. I don't know what this is, and these are simple stories, but I'm not sponsored. I don't get any money for trying to sell you stuff. If I put an Amazon link, it is an affiliate link, but I always tell you if you can get it cheaper somewhere, oh good grief. I try to find it cheaper and then link you to it, but if you're like me, Amazon's a necessary evil, and so I just order from Amazon because I'm lazy. But more inking and splattering and spritzing and stuff like that. And my tomatoes are turning. These turned chocolate. They're my chocolate ones. Benny is doing the sunshine thing. Here's my garlic scapes. I reached 35,000 on my Living Whole Food plant-based page, and I have we've reached 37,000 followers and 35,000 likes. I love that page. I have so much fun doing that and sharing what we're eating and recipes and information. And if you want to get started in this, or you just want some good food, check it out. Or don't. Again, I don't make any money. It's all free. Prima, I'm pretty sure this is Prima paper. Look at me getting all vintagey. This is actually my first love. I'm trying to get into this kind of stuff because it calls to me this year. But I always love the vintage. We picked a whole bunch of squash blossoms to make air fried stuffed squash blossoms with cashew cheese inside, and they were really good. And my maples are blooming, and like I said, I can't tell on my monitor if you can even see any of these, so sorry if you can't, but it's all inked and stamped and all that kind of stuff. More inking and stamping. I tried to match this paper that was back here, and again, it's Prima paper. Old, really old Prima paper, but everybody got new pots, so we redid bigger pots. And I found when I went to get the potatoes out today, there was a heart potato in there Love your potatoes because your potatoes will love you back. Let's see. Yeah, we're still in June. Joshua applied for a job at PetSmart. I'm just going to skip over that because I know there's details in it. I am out in the garden. When the guys take photos of me, they're so nice. They take photos like of my butt, or, you know, boobs showing, or, you know, my hair standing on end, or PJs. You know, if I actually clean up and say, no, we don't do any of that. We catch awful shit shots. And so here's me bent over in the garden. I guess it does show that I'm working in the garden, but thank you. This right now, you can walk through this tunnel. It's a tunnel. You can kind of see it there. This you can't even see through right now. There's so much growing in there. In 2 months, it's filled completely in and covered the whole thing. But these were my first squash from out there. Mini plant, Dollar Tree wall stickers. I love those. Got to pick my indoor tomatoes and my first dragon cucumber. I hope to plant them again next year. I learned how not to plant them, so hopefully I'm going to do it right this time. Because they are really, really good. And then the kiddos were holding on to each other, taking a nap. This is old die cuts with a view paper. Another Dollar Tree wall sticker. And I thought it was fitting because we were flooded everywhere. Just water everywhere. And then these are just miscellaneous shots. I made a casserole and I'm working on stuff and laundry, never-ending story of laundry, and bedding and more laundry, and I mentioned laundry, lots of laundry. These are Dollar Tree wall stickers. Also, again, the garden's blooming. I have a bunny that was inside the bunny stop fence. Skilled bunny, little turd. But I have my first eggplant, a spaghetti squash, lemon cucumber, whole bunch of summer squashes, and a whole bunch of kale. So that was kind of cool. And then it's July. So I thought I was going to get 2 of them done here. I thought I was going pretty fast, but apparently not. So I'll come back and do July next. But it's almost dinner time and sushi's calling and husband's on the way home. So I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.